Oh, cancel culture. We gotta chill out. With the cancel culture stuff, we gotta chill out. The spectrum's too broad. I don't have time to care about everything because you make such a big deal about nothing that it takes all of my attention away from the stuff we actually should be canceling and actually should be upset about. And it's so frustrating. Like, just pick and choose, man. And stop digging up people's old tweets and shit. Straight up. I think it's the most bitch-made thing you could possibly do. Because I'm a big believer that as times change, people change. A lot of the time for the better. Not always, obviously there's exceptions, but a lot of the times. Like, there's so many examples of it in American history in and of itself. You could look at someone like Malcolm X. Malcolm X spent 10 years in prison for robbery and larceny. Got out, went on to become a civil rights activist that literally changed the fucking world. Maya Angelou used to be a prostitute. Went on a big... What the fuck is so funny about that? What white motherfucker in the back laughing at what I read in February, huh? He laughed like he hit. Like, you know what I mean? God damn. She was a prostitute. She went on to become a poet, an author, another civil rights activist that, again, changed the fucking world. Chance the Rapper. Used to make good music. As times change, people change, right? Not always for the better. I miss acid rap. That's all I'm saying. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it happened to me. A few years ago, somebody who didn't like me went online and they dug up a bunch of tweets of mine from when I was 15 years old. And when I was 15 years old, as I mentioned, I was born and raised in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Ohio. Like, I didn't know shit about shit. I couldn't have been more ignorant. And anybody who says they didn't do or say some shit when they were 15 years old that they shouldn't have done or don't regret is a liar. Okay, that's the time in your life you're supposed to make mistakes so you learn from them, you grow from them, you don't go on to make those same mistakes when you're a responsible adult, yeah? So when I was 15 years old, I was going back and forth on Twitter with my best friend, Brendan. Now, Brendan and I have been best friends since preschool, 4 years old. He's my next door neighbor, and Brendan also happened to be black. So Brendan and I were going back and forth on Twitter one day, and this is when Twitter was like the group chat. You know what I mean? You were just saying crazy shit in there, because it was just y'all. You didn't think anybody was going to care 8 years later. So we were going back and forth on Twitter, just roasting each other, right? He would say something, I would say something. He would say something, I would say something. And then he said some shit that really had me fucked up. Because when I was 15, I also had Ohio teeth. Like, I had a big gap in the middle, I had little gaps on the side. My teeth were fucked up. And Brendan said some shit like, you're the only person I know who can eat food without opening their mouth. And 15-year-old me was shook. I was like, God damn, that's a finisher right there. So the roast battle was clearly over, so I conceded, and I had responded back with a very famous Chief Keef lyric at the time from the song Don't Like. So the conversation went, you're the only person I know who can eat food without opening their mouth. And I responded, fuck, that's that shit I don't like. Now, if you're familiar with the song, you would know I had tweeted the N-word in the song lyrics to my friend. And this was incredibly wrong. This was ignorant, naive, and stupid. I wish I had never done it. And when this resurfaced, people lost their fucking mind. I'm sorry. White people lost their fucking mind. They couldn't believe it. They thought I had just gotten away with being racist for 8 years. They were like, what? You can't say that. You're not black. You're not in the car by yourself. Like, they thought I had just found a loophole in racism and squeaked through the cracks. And black people couldn't believe that I knew who Chief Keef was. That was the biggest uproar amongst the black community. They were like, he fucks with Sosa? I had no idea. It was instant outrage amongst the whites, okay? And this was such an uncomfortable situation because white people love to be offended for other people. It's our favorite extracurricular activity to be like, oh, did you see? They want you to be upset about stuff you weren't even initially upset about. White people are like PC gladiators. Just, are you not outraged? I wasn't. Now I am. And again, this is a very tough position to be put in because white people have ruined every excuse in the book to get out of being called racist. They've ruined all of them. And fortunately, but unfortunately, I fit a massive cliche. If you or anybody watching were to take the slightest glimpse into my life, you wouldn't have to look far at all. You would see that all of my friends are black. All of them. There's one. There's others, I swear. All of them are black. I have one white friend, and he's Russian. His name is Vladislav. And I don't know how much y'all know about Russians, but they're the black people of white people, okay? They're so dope. So, to my naivety, I'm trying to state my case to these strangers online who don't know who I am or know anything about me, because from my perspective, I'm like, no, like, what are you talking about? I'm not racist. If you look at the people who I hold closest in my life, the people who mean more to me than my actual blood family, the people I love most and would probably fucking die for, you would see that they're black. Like, what I did was obviously stupid and wrong, but I didn't mean anything malicious by it. I would never in my fucking life mean anybody any hate or harm based on the color of their skin. That's outrageous to me. And the most frustrating thing about the entire experience and arguing with these people online was that there's still people who don't believe me. There's people right now, I'm sure, watching being like, this is just another white dude trying to get out of another sticky situation. And I understand that. But at the same time, I also don't have to convince you of a single fucking thing. I know who I am. I know I'm not racist. I know how many times I've jacked off to Queen Latifah's beauty shop. Y'all seen it? Oh, y'all sleeping, man. That shit's a classic. They so goddamn fine in that movie. Oh. Whew. So, this is when the conversation got really interesting because the problem shifted subjects. The issue started with a stupid mistake I made when I was 15 years old, and it shifted to white people now being uncomfortable with my comfortability with black people. Like, they were very uncomfortable with it. They were saying outrageous shit. They would be like, oh, I bet you hang out with so many black people so that you can justify saying racist shit like that. For real? That's how you think racism and discrimination works? I bet. So if I hate gay people, I'm out here sucking so much dick just so I can be like, ugh, these homos are disgusting. Am I right? I'm not. Oh my God. That's not how racism and discrimination works. I wouldn't put myself in that situation. But they kept going. They got more and more ignorant. They're like, oh, well, why do you hang out with so many black people then, huh? What do you want to be black? Fucking a little bit. It's so much cooler some of the time, okay? Every white person wishes they were black a little bit. Any white person who says they don't is a fucking liar or a cop, okay? Do not believe that for even a second, okay? But the silver lining of all of this is it made me do so much reflecting. Like, things that I had never had to put any thought into because they were such first nature to me, I actually thought about. Like, I had never thought about why all of my friends are black. I had never thought about why I'm so comfortable with black people or why I appreciate black people so much. So I did a lot of self-reflecting on it, and the conclusion I came to is that nobody goes through more shit and still enjoys life to the fullest more than black people. Nobody. It's so impressive to me. And it's such a beautiful way to live your life because everybody's going to go through shit, but not everybody can bounce back and still enjoy shit to the fullest. And I think it's an absolutely incredible way to live. This is going to seem so dramatic, but I need you guys to take it into consideration. Do you have any idea what it takes to have this country literally built on your fucking back, to this day still have to fight to be treated like a decent human being, and still have time to write a better version of the happy birthday song? Have y'all heard it? That shit's incredible. They got a Drake verse on there. It's incredible. Step your shit up, white people. You had such a head start. It's absolutely amazing. At its simplest form, it just comes down to common interest and common opinion. The people who you have in common interest and opinion, those are the people you surround yourself with. Those are your real friends. Those are your real family. The world should not be split into like, oh, white people do this, black people do this. If you're trying to do something another culture does, you're trying to do something that you're not. Like that divides us. That does not bring us together. And it doesn't even need to be so cut and dry. It goes through all aspects of life. Comedy is like that. I'm supposed to come up here, say some relatable shit that y'all have probably kind of already thought about. We make it funny. Now we have that bond together, right? But there's still that judgment until we have that bond. Like every time I walk on stage, every dude watching is like, absolutely not. I ain't got nothing in common with this dude. He got bangs. Like, I'm not gonna think he's funny. But as soon as I come up here and say some relatable shit that we can agree on, like, who in here like big titties? All those dudes are like, well, let's give him a chance. See what these titties are talking about. Because we're not that fucking different, man. Stop dividing people just because you're uneducated or inexperienced, okay? That's why you're uncomfortable. That's why you come across as so fucking corny, and that's why you're not invited to the cookout. I'll bring the potato salad. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll bring chairs. It's okay. Thank you guys so much. My name is Matt Rife. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are fantastic. Get home safe, please.